so I developed this style and all these different things to break the rules, to be different. You want to be different. I don't want to be like anybody else you fought. I want to be totally different from everyone else that you fought. You can't prepare for me like that. It's different.
Wearing a T-shirt that says "Never Made."
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.
Guys, welcome back to Never Made Weight. Today is a good day. We have Bobby King Green here in our virtual studio. It's not AI, he's real. How you doing, Bobby?
What's up, bro? What's up with you? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Guys, no need for a resume talk. You guys know who it is.
Yeah.
Bobby, I follow you on Instagram. You're always posting Stacks Distro. Can you tell us about Stacks Distro?
Weed company. They shoot me trees and stuff. I smoke it. Let them know how it is. They pay me and promote their products.
Got it. I thought that was your company. That's why I was asking. Um, So, outside of fighting, you've been in the UFC since 2013. Obviously, you've been fighting way longer than that. Outside of fighting, outside of training, what do you spend your time doing?
Try to take over the world. Yeah, I mean, one day at a time. You know what I mean? Like Pinky in the brain. It's all about trying to level up. So I got a bunch of different business endeavors. I got a few properties I own, so I'm always up keeping those. I got my business that I got to keep running and stuff. So I'm always busy. If I don't have my kids, then I'm working with that. So, bro, I'm a busy father. I spend most of the time on my weekends with my kids. If I'm not with my kids or with my girl, or not with my girl, I'm with my business. I'm always busy doing something.
I mean, for sure, you average like 2.5 fights a year since you've been in the UFC. Um, I started hearing about you like way more intensely during COVID because you had 3 wins in 84 days. How did that come about? Is that like pure business decision or did you want to fight for some reason that much?
Bro, it's been that way since the beginning. Like the way this shit works for me, I've been fighting like that since I started my career. I was fighting once a week, and I fought one time where I fought Friday and then I fought Saturday, and so it's always been in my blood. You know what I mean? To double your money, keep making the money, keep making the money, and so before I got to the UFC, I was already doing that where I fought guys on short notice, blah blah blah. And I'm already used to that custom. So when I got to UFC and you're making better money, I'm just gonna run it up more, basically.
And for those who don't know, fight camps actually are very expensive. So um when you have short notice, you can save some on that, huh?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And you can
I like to get straight to
save
the
some
point.
time too.
Yeah, I like to get straight to the point, where we ain't gotta spend too much time focusing and being sober and you know what I mean, ruining life because it's hard, when you're in camp. So the shorter the camp, the better.
What's your relationship with smoking during camp?
I have no relationship with smoking during camp. I don't smoke during camp.
Really? Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So I mean, shit, that takes a lot of discipline, right? Because if you love to smoke and you can't smoke for 2 months, does that change the lifestyle very often, kind of like bother you, or you're just used to it?
Fuck yeah, bro. This shit sucks. Like I love to smoke. That's my favorite thing to do. I don't drink. I don't really party. And so I'm always time I'm have a smoke. And so when I have to just get a call and drop cold turkey, I go crazy, where I won't sleep for like 5 days, bro. I won't
Damn.
sleep for like 5 days. I end up not eating for like three. It's just the way it goes where I go through it. Cause I'm addicted to the tobacco part of it. Like I smoke blunts. I don't
Yeah.
smoke bongs and fucking what is that shit called? Joints and shit, you know what I mean? Fucking dabs, none of that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a fan of dabs. I mean, I smoke joints, blunts, but not a fan of dabs. I think it fucks up my throat. I feel like it sticks to the walls in the throat.
Yeah, I feel like that's some shit that you want to fucking have a heart attack on, you know what I mean? Have a stroke where you like stroke over somewhere and die, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Um,
besides that too, I'll be like, I get the highest where I'm like people are talking to me and I'm just in my mind and I'm thinking 1,000 thoughts in my mind, but I'm not really talking. You know what I mean? That's probably like, oh, what'd you say? You know, I totally zoned out anything you were talking to me about.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that is very common. I do that shit all the time. Bobby, I had a great time watching your fights all the time. I've seen you fight once at UFC 300 against Jim Miller. That was a great fight. I mean, I've seen you fight once in person. I've had a great time watching you whenever you're talking during the fight. It was oftentimes it's a what's up, before you throw.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that you throw from the hip and the Philly shell. Where like this kind of like combination, this combination of fight style, where did this come from?
When people ask me that, like, to me, fighting is your personality. And so just from the looks of it from you, you look like a thinker. And so we start fighting and you start having some stuff happen to you, you're gonna get back, you're gonna think about the situation and then analyze it and come back to it. Everybody has their own style in terms of personality. And so my style comes from my personality and where I come from. I'm from the hood, I'm from the streets. I'm from the IE. And so I try to bring this different style where when you turn into like when you go say, hey, these fools are for the fight, when you get that idea, you want to go and be able to watch two over scrap, You don't want to go in there and see two guys hug or it's like, fuck, this shit was boring. And so I was trying to bring the streets to the UFC where it's gonna be like the same thing like you would see in the streets where somebody like, what's up? You know what I mean? What's up? You know what I mean? It's crap. And so I try to bring that same element where that's what the viewer wants to see. The viewer wants to see a fight, two guys go at it. So you need to go give them what they paid their hard money for.
I mean, fans love that shit. They eat it up. Um, I've seen, a lot of fighters do that, and it's always getting a good reaction. Like Connor does it a lot before the fight, messes with someone's head. Nick and Nate during the fight. You've seen it, in the opponents that it kind of confuses them. Um, how much of that, I understand that you said it's just you, but how much of that is to mess with the guy's head too?
It's all a part of fighting. Half of it is mental, bro. And if you're mentally beat already, then I don't even have to really fight you too much. You're already mentally beat. So they say how I don't want to get to the numbers of how much the mental battle is in it, but it's very important to break somebody mentally before you even touch them physically.
Yeah. And so you're striking from the hips, you have that Philly shell, your hands are always down. I feel like it makes it much funner. You put yourself in a
Yeah.
you put yourself in a situation for your opponent to attack, and you're great with the counters. Can you tell us a little bit about how you read the opponent's moves? What tiny cue tells you the counter is there?
This comes from years of training, years of training through my coach, Sam Mason, where he teaches us timing drills. He teaches us same time. These are things that are with timing. There's certain things with range, there's certain things about timing. And once you understand timing and range, then I can put my hands down if I understand the range. But there's always these little uh intangibles. Hey, how was he this close or was he that close? Just inches changes everything. And so I developed this style and all these different things to break the rules, to be different. You want to be different. I don't want to be like anybody else you fought. I want to be totally different from everyone else that you fought. You can't prepare for me like that. It's different.
And through the years, I know you've had the same team since the beginning, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So through the years, how did that fight style evolve?
Through the years, it's been the same, but yet I just started to understand the crowd more, understand fighting. As you grow into fighting more, you get deeper and deeper into this knowledge. It's like going to school to be like a doctor or something. Like it takes 10 years. And so I've been in the game longer than 10 years where I start to learn, oh, these are these new things that I'm working on and trying. Like right now, I'm working on some new things. And I'm like, man, this is gonna be dope in a fight if I could pull this off.
Yeah. I watched your JRE episode, obviously, when it came out a while ago. You mentioned there that you were famous in Mexico before the States. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, yeah. I met a girl. Within a month, she got pregnant. And so I now got to jump into daddy mode. I don't have a father figure. So I'm trying to be the best thing that I've never seen. And so I worked 6 days in a warehouse. I worked for it wasn't Walmart at the time. Walmart ended up buying the company, but she moved all the freezer products and stuff like that. And so I would be doing that 6 days a week. On my seventh day, I would go to Mexico, fight in Mexico. Go over there, scrap, fight overnight, come back. I make 800 bucks, come back. The next week I go out there, make 1,000 bucks, come back. The next week I make 1,200. And so I just go fight in Mexico. And that was the thing, like, especially for a young kid to be in a new country, you get drinks, we party after the fights. So it was all fun for me too. But yet at the same time, I could still get two jobs done at once.
So you're like, you've been in this game forever. You were even in Strike Force. You fought in Strike Force in like 2012 or something, right? You actually had like what, 5 fights in Strike Force?
Up, all short notice.
All short notice. So what is it about this short notice? You think it's you think you just like you think you just don't like to wait? Because for me personally, I don't want to have the anxiety of like, shit, I got to think about this for 2 months now.
I can see where you come from with that. That makes sense in your head. You fought before?
No, never.
Okay,
Just like
so I
some
can see
classic
you
fight.
analyzing it that way. For me personally, it's more so like I think about being ready for every opportunity that comes to you, you know? Like if you're truly destined to be who you are, you're gonna jump on every opportunity to make it, you know? Every opportunity. And so that's really where my heart was that I'm gonna jump on every possible time I get the show out there, and maybe one of those times I'm gonna fucking hit big. And hey, this I don't need to do this anymore. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically you're saying you're just jumping on every opportunity. You didn't say no to anything.
Yes, exactly. Same way for you. You didn't say no. You were like, hey, I'm like, bro, I don't really do interviews. Like, if you mean you're like, bro, I'll pay you. I'm like, cool. You're willing to do whatever it took to get your job done. That's what it takes to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Um what do you think about open scoring? Just the reason I'm asking is because um we had a couple fighters, they both said they like the idea of it just so you know where you're at going into the third round if need be.
I think that's sick ass idea, because it's like, fuck, bro, you don't know where some fighters have it in their head. Well, I landed more times, but the judge may be saying, but he hit you with the harder shots. And so I'm giving him the round versus you hit more numbers. I don't like that so much. And so at least we get an idea of what we're dealing with.
Got it. And a while ago you had this interview, it was a really emotional interview. You were talking about love over hate. It was when you were talking about your coach, you had your arm around him. Where did that message come from, and what was the hardest moment in this sport to live that message?
Um, Damn, that's an interesting question there. So what came up what made me think of the moment? At
Yeah,
the time we were dealing with the Black Lives Matter stuff and everybody was
yes,
fighting, having these racial tensions. And
yeah,
I just saw that I could try to give a different type of a view or a message, like where everyone thinks, push their side, yell, yeah about the other stuff and fight. And I'm like, fighting ain't gonna get us nowhere. Love is what's gonna get us somewhere, like I've got people that I've dealt with for years and they may have said something like black people are like this, you know? But over the years they got to see me and they go, well, you weren't like that. So now I open a book for, well, all of them aren't like that. And
yeah,
so I'm trying to open these doors and change these stereotypes, like for my people, what we're looked at for one. But
Yeah.
two is more so saying it like, bro, we ain't gonna do nothing fighting each other, you know? And so,
Yeah.
like I was getting back to my point, I was just being a good person. I'm just being who I am. People start seeing, oh, those are good people, you know? And so I was trying to explain to people like it's just love, bro. Just loving people. After a while, they'll still get it. They'll be like, they'll get it, you know?
Yeah. And that was the time that, there was all the riots and stuff. But now, like, do you think that we've gone to a better place, or even worse?
From then to now,
Yeah.
man, I feel like it's worse. I feel like we got more bold and we're pushing even harder now. Instead
Yeah.
of worrying so much about what people feel too much, you know, like where are you right or you left? Are you conservative? You know, like all that stuff. Like eh, people have I may be a little right, but I may be a little left. There may be something I like on this side, maybe something else, but it's like, well, you're right or you're left. It's just like, no, people are all types, and you got to understand people, just period. You know.
How have you dealt with people through the years? Like, like crazy fan interactions, or whatever, something like that.
You got to understand, bro. I come from foster care. And so I've been in 50 different homes. I didn't have my mom or my dad. I I learned through the people. I grew up in a white family. I grew up in a black family, a Mexican family. They don't even speak English like that. And so, like the way I learn and I gravitate to people is totally different than maybe the average person. Like to me, it's just people, and I'm cool in all situations because I'm used to craziness and everything that comes with it. So I might see a weirdo, and he might want a picture or some shit like that, but me, I know how to deal with the situation where somebody else might overact or it might be too much for them. But to me, I come from a crazy place, so it's like everybody's just humans, bro. You just learn to understand, like, okay, he's a little wacky, you know.
Yeah, you mentioned like you come from a tough neighborhood. You grew up in the IE. You mentioned about the fights back then, and I just wanted to ask you, have you got a chance to watch Dan Hooker's backyard tournaments?
Yeah, I've been catching up. Like, look at this motherfucker.
What is that? Can't see it.
No, no, I've been catching the show. I'm looking, like, look at this motherfucker throwing backyard fights and shit.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, because you were talking about how, back then people didn't want to see hugging and stuff, and it just made me think like that was the sometimes watching people fight who don't really know how to fight is also very fun
Yeah,
because they
it's
throw
very
everything.
funny to me. It's
Yeah.
hilarious to see people that don't know how to fight fight. It's hilarious.
Have you seen Street Beefs
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've had some
on
homies fighting
YouTube?
that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, over there you got like amateur level, even lower level than amateur, right? UFC highest level. In your opinion, like really, what's the level difference in this in Bellator? You know, um, I would say Bellator. What's the level difference from Bellator to UFC?
I had been in Bellator, so I could judge Bellator, but I think it would be like Strikeforce or King of the Cage versus being in the actual big show, you know? And his levels different, you know, levels different.
But you fought
Every
in
person you see come
different
over,
places.
most of the time they deal with what they call UFC jitters. This is like
Mm,
it's a huge crowd, bigger crowd than you've ever been used to. Um, it's just it's something that you just gotta experience, you know, for yourself.
yeah. So, do you have a good relationship with a lot of fighters on the UFC roster, or do you just keep to yourself?
Um, I keep it cool with everybody, you know, like I just mind my business. I keep it cool. Like, what's up? You know, throw little deuces. I keep it cool with everybody and then kind of like let it kind of figure itself out, you know? You're gonna gravitate to who you gravitate towards, you know?
Yeah,
If it's a younger fighter, I'll grab him and I'll be like, hey, come here, you know, I'll talk to him. Hey, bro, I saw you fight. You be doing this, you know. Hey, check this out, you know, what's open. And so I try to give him a little advice, you know, just because I've seen the evolutions, you know, been through different generations of the sport. So I can
yeah.
see the changes and like, hey, this is what's going on right now. You better be ready for this.
If you could, if you saw like a young Bobby Green, coming up, what's one piece of advice you think that would really help you in the beginning of your career?
Helpful advice. Focus. Focus, you know? I never thought I would ever get to the UFC. And I fought my ass off. And I never thought it was ever gonna happen. Um, and so had I had more focus, I'd be in a big way better position. But when you come from the background I come from, I got so much stuff going on at home and in the streets and stuff like that that it's so much more bigger than the sport itself. So sometimes it took my focus. So if I just focus more on the sport itself, I'll be better off.
And what do you see your future looking like? Are you going to be part of MMA when you retire, like coaching or anything like that? What do you see yourself getting into?
Future. Interesting. Um, I think I got not a lot of I got a not a lot of knowledge to give fighters. You know, I like to be around fighters, but I don't want to coach. Like, or I gotta, or maybe I don't want to have a gym, you know, where I'm coming down, you got to work with kids and work with all the different people. It's just like the parents are sometimes a little excessive. And I see what happens to my gym owners and what they deal with. So I don't want a gym, but I want to be able to maybe come in and fine tune fighters, what I would call it. Fine tune them. We're like, I come in and I get your movement better. I get your hands better. You know, I get your wrestling better at these little things here. You're missing these parts. You know,
Do you love this game? Like, do you truly love it?
that's a great question. It's a love hate thing. I hate this shit. You know, like bro, you gotta understand that. Like, I did some gummies, right? I don't even fuck with gummies like that, but I did some gummies and I fucked up and took too many. I was supposed to take one and I didn't read the package. And I think the whole entire pack thinking is one when really it's cut into fours. So I took 4 doses in one.
Wow. I
So
can't
I'm
handle that
tripping out.
edible. Oh,
Yeah, I'm tripping out. I'm fucking high as shit. And I'm like, and this thought crossed my mind is that you're locked in the cage. You're like pit bulls. You're locked in there. It's basically almost fighting to the death. Basically, the only thing saves you is the ref. You know, and something crossed my mind and said, "You got to be kind of fucking nuts to do that job." You know,
it's fun, bro.
and I've already had 50 fights, and that's never crossed my mind, bro. I know that's fucking nuts, but after
28 in
50
the
fights,
UFC.
huh?
28 fights in the UFC.
Yeah, and so I've had 50 fights, over 50 fights. So where I would have you thought I would already realize that, but somewhere on this stupid edible high, I just realized this is fucking nuts. And so it's a love-hate thing, you know? I love it for what I could do for people and help people and change people's lives, so I do it. But I hate it for what it does for me. You know, I have to change my whole life and my uncomfortability. Like I hate needles and I hate planes. Those are the two things I gotta always do in fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I heard, you love to eat.
Well, fuck yeah, I'm a
Like,
foodie.
wait, I mean, we never made weight. We wouldn't know, but I know that must suck.
Yeah, bro, it's tough. It's part of life, and I've been this fucking weight since I was 15 years old. You know what I mean? When I left high school, I left at 160. When I graduated, at 170. I'm at 17, and so that was 160 at 17. I'm at 155, and I'm almost 40. Like to keep that on and to keep doing this, bro, it's like it's tough sometimes, you know.
Shit. I mean, but you've got a, crazy career out of it. You got a shitload of highlight reels. You built a life out of it. So it's good to see you doing well. I was waiting for your fight news. You had something that got canceled, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was supposed to fight on the Chimaya and DDP card. Two
Yeah.
days before the fight, I blew my knee out.
Yeah. Oh shit. How's it
Yeah.
now?
So I had surgery. I'm walking around now. I've been bugging them like, let's get it going. They're like, hey, we want to make sure you're good enough. You know, we're not gonna have any problems. And so
Yeah.
I've been just bugging them and just trying to train right now and stay focused. Get ready for the next one.
Bobby, our channel is called Never Made Weight. Can you give the fans a little insider of your worst weight cut story?
Is that because you never made weight? Where did the never weight? Where
I
did weight
never
come
made
from?
weight. I definitely never made weight, but and it's for everybody else who's never made weight.
Okay, I was wondering where that came from. Okay,
I've always
so
been
my
a big
story.
fan, big fight fan. Always been into fight sports, karate growing up. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, but never fought. And I gained a bunch of weight. So, floor is yours.
Okay, I got called to fight Jim Miller. The before 300, we were supposed to fight each other, and they called me on like 2 weeks' notice to fight, and so I had to drop 30 pounds in like 2 weeks. And bro, I did it. I made the weight, but as soon as I got off the scale, I went to go see the doctors, and he's fucking like putting his blood pressure cuff on me and stuff. And I just felt woozy. And shit, I just fucking passed out. I guess one of my lungs collapsed. One of my kidneys failed. I was in the hospital for like 3 days. So that is my craziest weight cut story.
Damn, that's wild. I didn't know your lung collapsed. I heard about that,
Yeah.
but I didn't know your lung collapsed. How was that recovery like?
And then I just got out. I went to fucking doing taxes and shit. So I stay busy, bro.
Crazy, bro. Anyway, Bobby, thank you for doing the show with us, man. Is there anything you want to leave the fans with?
Hey, support the show, guys. I really appreciate Spad over here. Spad over here. He's definitely a guy trying to get up there and be one of the new top interviewers. So support him.
I appreciate that. King Green, guys. Thank you for watching Never Made Weight. Thank you, Bobby.
All right, big dog biz. Boom.
Wearing a T-shirt that says "Never Made."
I believe him.